and thank you for joining the class. I hope that everybody is well, and I think we are live. So I understand it's very difficult to learn English, and maybe you are in London, maybe you're in Dublin, and it's very difficult to understand people. So I hope I can try to help a little. I am teaching for the last 11 years, and at the moment it's a good opportunity for me during the pandemic to hopefully teach some people. So I hope you can understand me. The subtitles and the captions are available on Facebook if you want, and fingers crossed everything is okay. Hopefully we have no problem with the connection, with the Wi-Fi, with the technology, and also with family. Hopefully there's no big interruption with my dog as well. Okay, so your objective, what is your objective with English? I think your objective is to understand native people and fluent speakers in conversation, in social situations, to understand people. It's very difficult, and I think this is your objective. Also in movies and series, you want to understand English in this situation and setting and environment. Okay, maybe for your job, maybe it's necessary you need English for your job, or for social, for friends, or for relationships, but you just need English very quickly and very important. Okay, so I want to try and help. Maybe for education, for university, it's possible you need to prepare an exam, or you want to advance in university with English, so that's another objective, another motivation. And also the economic situation, so it's very expensive to go to schools to learn English. It's very expensive to have an English teacher, I understand, because before, for example, it's maybe approximately €25 per hour, so I understand it's very difficult to economically to pay for teachers and pay for schools. And this is a very good opportunity for me to try to help you for free. Okay, so I'm very happy to do this, and it's a good initiative and project. Okay, my objective, so what is my motivation and my objective? Basically, during the pandemic and people, it's necessary to stay at home, so it's a very good moment for me to try to help, and especially during the pandemic I want to help people learn, of course, and again, it's my motivation to try and help for free, particularly to people who cannot pay for classes and pay for schools. So that is really my motivation and to my help. Yes, to know new people. It's a very good opportunity for me to know new people as well, and also to work. Again, it's a good chance, a good moment for me to work, because in May I stopped working in May because we have 7 people at home. And finally it was a little difficult to continue working. So now, since January, since December, I have a little space, and it's a small opportunity to hopefully continue teaching English. So I want to continue in this way, but day by day, fingers crossed, everything was okay. Maybe it's possible in the future I will need your help, I will need your support. Everything is free, but if you are able and if you want to give a little donation or a little tip, for me it would be a very, very good support in the future. There's 2 possibilities. Bizum in Spain for €1 or €2, it's an option, that's my number. And the second possibility is with PayPal. So with your phone you can put the camera on this picture, and this will direct you to a link to support me if you want and if you can, for maybe €1 or €2. And the website at the top is another possibility. Okay, so it's free, but if you can and if you want to support me, it'd be very, very good. That's another motivation for me. And to grow online, it's a good chance to grow online, to reach new people and to find new people. Okay, and I'm thankful, gracias, thankful to you and to the technology for this opportunity. Okay, so the agenda for today's class is very interesting and a little different, because first, the introduction is important. So every day I have a little introduction with grammar, because it's important to explain the technical concepts of grammar and the technical vocabulary first before the class. Because the technical vocabulary, for example, substantive, noun, adjective, adverb, modal verb, past perfect, present perfect, preposition, phrasal verb, idioms. This vocabulary is very important to understand the concept first, because during the class I identify the concepts in the class. So every day it's very important to remember the vocabulary for the technical vocabulary. Okay, after the introduction I have a video. So I have a very interesting video today. Here you can see this is a video from a telenovela in Ireland, a very popular, very particular Irish telenovela. Okay, in English we say a soap or a series, but this program is very famous, and this video is a conversation with native, local, fluent English speakers. Very, very normal, very good example of the difficult expressions in English. And today I want to show the video and also to analyze the vocabulary, and I hope the audio, I hope it's possible for you to hear the video, because I have Zoom and I have Facebook, so I hope you can listen to the audio at home, and then I will show you the script with the vocabulary. Okay, and after maybe we continue with the phrasal verb list and possibly the idiom list. Okay, and possibly, depending on the time, we may continue with the article from Sao Paulo, the Brazil. Okay, speaking is very important, and during the class it's possible for you to participate and to practice speaking with me during the class if you want. Today, tomorrow, this is the code for Zoom. So if you have Zoom open on your computer or your phone and you want to participate to practice your speaking, you can enter the information, and later in the class we can practice for maybe 4 or 5 minutes with 1 or 2 people, just a general conversation if you want to practice. Okay, so that is the code for the Zoom meeting. Okay, so let's begin, let's start. So here, this is just my notes, and with the picture you can see, and that's my dog, if you can hear my dog. And this is just to apologize if it's difficult to understand me. I hope you understand me. I know we have people from Indonesia, from Vietnam, from Brazil, from Spain, from Italy, from Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary. We have lots, Poland, lots of different people. So I hope you can understand me. And it's a bit difficult, so fingers crossed. Okay, it's possible Instagram, Twitter and YouTube also. Okay, so this document is the introduction document, and every morning I present this document because it is really, really important. Okay, so for me there are 3 categories. The use of English is one category, the tenses is another category, and the grammar is another category I want to introduce. Okay, so accents, this area of use of English probably is the most important area when you study English and you try to understand native fluent speakers, because accents, people have very, very different accents around the world. In Ireland we have a different accent, in Dublin, in Cork, in the north of Ireland we have very, very different accents. In England, in Manchester, in London, Liverpool, very different and very strong accents. United States, New York, California, Texas, very, very different accents. And then Australia and Canada, we have extremely different accents, and New Zealand. So that's very, very hard when you try to learn English. And today in the video I will show you the accents from Ireland, and it's very interesting. The concept of a phrasal verb is fundamental and very important. Basically, it's a verb and a preposition in English with a combination has a second significance. So a verb and a preposition, and the combination has a possible second significance. And one example here is to come across. So the verb to come is very simple, come. Across is the preposition, but the second significance is to find, completely different. So I'm looking in my bag, and I come across a book. So I find unexpectedly a book. That's the significance of a phrasal verb and the significance of come across. So we have a lot of phrasal verbs, and they're very typical and very normal in conversation, and we use them all the time. Very, very quick and very difficult to identify. Okay? Idioms are also very important, like expressions and idioms, expressions, frases hechas in Espanol, and they're very normal in conversation, in movies, in series, and really they are a big part to learn fluent English, okay? And during the class it's important as well. Conversation, yes, it's important to practice your conversation. If you are learning English, try to find somebody to practice conversation, and also pronunciation is very important, and during the class I try to identify and to teach some points in relation to pronunciation, okay? The tenses, so the different times in English. When you speak, do you speak in the present, do you speak in the past, do you speak in the future? And we have a few different concepts. For example, the simple, the present simple, one action in the present, the past simple, one action that's finished in the past, and the future simple, one action that will happen in the future. The problem is irregular. We have a lot of irregular verbs. The regular verbs is normally ed, for example, look, looked, but the irregular, we have a lot of irregular verbs in the past, and the construction of the future is normally will. I will go, I will look, I will be. So that's the simple. Simple present, simple past, simple future. We have the concept of the continuous. One moment, one period in the present that is continuous, and the construction is I am, and the gerund, ing. I am eating, I am going, I am meeting. The past continuous, I was eating, I was going, I was meeting. And the future continuous, I will be eating, I will be going, I will be meeting. That's the concept of the continuous and the simple. We also have the perfect, and basically there are three perfects. There's the present perfect, which is the subject, the extra verb have, and the participle. I have eaten, I have spoken, I have met. The present perfect is usually a period, it's finished, it's an action in the past and it's finished, but it's related to the present. That's the present perfect. For example, I have eaten my breakfast. It started in the past, it's finished, but it's related to the present because now I am not hungry. The past perfect is usually a period in the past before another action in the past simple, and the construction is the subject, the extra verb have in the past, and the participle. For example, I had eaten my breakfast when my friend contacted me, the past simple. So the past perfect is usually the period in the past before another past simple action in the past, okay? It's also possible the future perfect, I will have eaten, but that's a little more advanced. The idea of the infinitive is also important. Basically, the concept of the infinitive is the base or the foundation of the verb, and in English normally it's to eat, to go, to drink, to have, to meet. In Spanish it's para beber, para comer, para tomar. So that's the infinitive, the base, the foundation. In Portuguese I think it's similar to Español, okay? Puedo hablar en español y yo lo siento porque no sé portuguesa, pero español es bastante similar, y cuando hablo en español ojalá que me entiendes un poquito si estás de Brasil, okay? Then we have the idea or the concept of the conditional. So the theory of the conditional is very important. The zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. It's a little heavy in relation to the theory, but in reality it's related to if. So for example, if it rains today, I will go to the city. If I spoke to my friend yesterday, I would have said something better. Okay, so it's always connected to if, and the different times and the different tenses with if. Okay, that is the conditional. And also in this area, active and passive. So basically the active is the subject, the verb, and the object in ordinary structure. Subject, verb, object. I kick the ball. Subject, verb, object. And the passive, you change the position. So the ball, extra verb to be, in the past was kicked, participle, by me. So that concept of the active and the passive is very important, okay? And here you can see the man is the subject, kicked is the verb, and the ball is the object, okay? So that's the active, and to create the passive we change the position. The ball, extra verb to be, was kicked, participle, by the man. Okay, I understand grammar is sometimes heavy and the theory sometimes is very heavy and very important. It is very important if your level is low and your level is high, it doesn't matter. You need to understand the structures very much. Okay. Then finally we have a few more concepts in relation to grammar. So here we have the concept of a substantive or a noun. So basically a person, a place or a thing is a substantive or a noun. Every substantive and every noun has an article. In English we have two articles, a, for example, a house, or the house. The indefinite article is a and the definite article is the. So that's the basic difference between a and the indefinite and definite article. There is one possibility with when the noun begins with a vowel, a, e, I, o, u, it's necessary normally to have an. So when the word begins with a vowel, it's normally necessary an. That's the exception, okay? For example, an apple. We also have the idea or the concept of countable and uncountable. So is the substantive countable or is it uncountable? For example, house. Is it possible to count the house? Yes. One house, two houses, three houses, okay? Water. Is it possible to count water? Not really, no. One water, impossible. Two water, impossible. One glass of water, one bottle of water, 1 litre of water. Yes, it's possible to count glass, bottle, litre, but water, it's not possible. So bottle, glass is countable, house, countable, and water, chocolate, air, money, uncountable. Okay, money is uncountable because it's possible. Euro, we count the euro, the dollar, that's the currency, but the concept of money is impossible to count. This is important in relation to how much and how many. So how much is related to uncountable, how much water, how much chocolate, how much money, and how many is connected to countable. How many houses, how many bottles, how many glasses. That's important. Uncountable, uncountable in relation to how much and how many. Okay? And you can see it here, how much and how many. Adjectives, the concept of the adjective is to describe the noun or the substantive. And the position normally in English, the adjective is before the substantive. House is the substantive, big is the adjective. So the big house. So the adjective is before the substantive. In Spanish, in Portuguese, it's the opposite. You have the substantive and the adjective. Okay, but normally in English, the adjective is before the substantive. The concept of the adverb is connected to the verb. So in English we have the verb, for example, run, and the adverb describes the verb quickly. Run quickly, run slowly, speak quickly, speak slowly. Normally the adverb has the ending ly. The suffix and the ending normally in English for the adverb is ly. And here you can see slowly, softly, quickly, okay? Modal verbs are very frequent and very important in English. Basically, this is the list of the modal verb, and can is related to ability and permission. So ability, I can play football, I can play tennis, it's my ability. Permission and question, can I go to the shop, can I speak to the manager, it's a question and for permission, okay? Could, may and might are very, very similar for possibility and also question, but possibility, I could speak to the manager, it's a possibility, it's an option. I could go to the city, it's a possibility, it's an option. I may go to the city, I might go to the city. For me, the difference probably is more formal. May and might are a little more polite, okay? Más educado, un poquito más educado, may and might, but in general, they're very, very similar, the three verbs, could, may and might. Shall, should and will are very similar. So shall is probably older English, more formal. Shall we go to the cinema is maybe will we go to the cinema, should we go to the cinema. Shall is more formal. Should is normally recommendation and advice. Okay, advice, consejo in Espanol. So my advice to you, you should speak to your friend, you should go to the city, you should read this book. It's my recommendation and my advice. Okay. Ought to is the same as should, but it's a little more formal, and the G is silent. So the pronunciation is ought to, and it's the same significance as should. So for recommendation and advice, we say ought to. You ought to read the book, you ought to go to the cinema, recommendation and advice. Must is for obligation and necessity. So you must clean the room, you must collect the children, you must go to the cinema. It's obligation and it's necessary. Okay. The rule, after the modal verb, the next verb in the infinitive is necessary, but we eliminate to. So the rule, the next verb after the modal verb is necessary in infinitive, but we eliminate to. Very important. I can't go, I can meet, I could talk. So that's correct. The error and the incorrect structure is can to meet. That's incorrect. Can to go. That's incorrect with the to. It's necessary to eliminate to. Okay? Prepositions are of course so important in English. We have many prepositions in English, and basically it's related to position and movement and direction. Okay? So for example, in, I am in the room because I'm inside. Okay? On is for the table, and surface, basically a surface, normally we say on the book, on the table, on the floor, on my jacket. And also we have more over my hand, under my hand, beside my hand, in front of my hand, below my hand. So we have a lot of prepositions, and they are very, very important, particularly in relation to phrasal verbs also. Remember, phrasal verb has the verb and the preposition. Usually the preposition is associated with emotion. So normally up is positive, up is the total, up is happy, and down is negative, down is decrease, so down is sad. So there's always normally an association with emotion and the preposition. Okay? Here we need to be careful and very, very clear the difference between my hat, your hat, but the hat is mine, the hat is yours, and give the hat to me or give the hat to you. So this area are pronouns. We have a subject pronoun, we have an object pronoun, and we have a possessive pronoun. So that area is very easy to confuse. So I recommend you prepare and you try to be very clear with all the different pronouns, because they're very, very important. Okay. Also, the difference between this, that, these, and those. Demonstrative is the technical vocabulary, but basically this is before the substantive. This house because it's here, that house because it's away, these houses because they are plural and they are here, and those houses because they are plural and they are away. So basically it depends on location and singularity or plural. This is singular, that is singular, these is plural, and those is plural. Change the position. Okay? There is a little difference between another and other. So normally before the substantive, another is singular, another day, another week, another year, and other before the substantive normally is plural. Other days, other weeks, other years. Okay? How to construct a question is very important. Normally we use do, and it's possible to invert. So can is ability, you can drive is the affirmative, and the question, you change the position. Can you drive? So there's two general possibilities to construct a question. Do you drive? Or can you drive? You change the position. Okay, but later we will talk more about the questions if you want. The concept and the importance of the suffix and the prefix is generally important when you study English. For example, the suffix ans usually represents a substantive. The suffix ize usually represents a verb. The suffix able usually represents an adjective. The suffix ly usually represents adverb. So this is important and a good secret and a good help when you prepare and study English. Okay. Conjunctions and linkers, of course, they're very important to link the sentence. However, furthermore, although, and, but, because, as well as. So those words, generally linkers, to make English more fluent and more cohesive. Okay? And that's sufficient for today. Of course, we have vocabulary, so it's important specific vocabulary. You can try to increase your vocabulary with different areas and different topics. Writing is a completely different skill and a completely different talent. So ability, if you want to practice your writing, it's possible you can send me your writing and I can try and help and correct your writing. And if you give me permission during the class, I can show everybody the corrections. Okay, that's an offer and it's available if you want. And then exam preparation. We have the Cambridge exams, the IELTS exams, and it's possible to prepare these exams as well. Okay, so well done. I'll close this document, and it's very, very important during the class. That document is important every day, the introduction, to try to recognize and identify the concepts, because during the class I try to mention and to identify the same technical vocabulary. Okay, so here, this is very interesting and very exciting, because this is a video from a telenovela, or a soap. In English we say a soap or a series, and it's a very old Irish program. And here is the script. So here we can see the script of the video. Okay, and first I want to show you the video. I will play the video for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and you can try to understand the video, and after 2 minutes I will analyze the vocabulary and explain, and then later you can watch the video again for 2 minutes to try and understand. Okay, so first I play the video, and I really hope you can hear the video. If you cannot hear the video, please write the comment and tell me you can't, and tomorrow I will try and fix it. But it's not so important, but just to try. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hope you could hear it very well. That's a good example, a really good example of a normal conversation in Dublin, an extremely normal conversation situation with family, with friends. This is perfect to really understand native, particularly in Dublin, but really informal conversation and very, very normal conversation. It's a very good example. Okay, so at the top I'm going to show you well, first I rewind this to the beginning, and later we will play again. So first I want to show you the beginning. Okay, so the vocabulary at the top. So the man speaks on the phone and he says, yeah, love. So love is like my love, my darling, I'm going to. So the future has two possibilities. I will need, that's the future simple, or the second possibility, going to. And here it's the second construction of the future. I'm going to need. Okay, so the verb is to need. So this structure is the future. Going to go. For example, in Espanol, voy a comer, voy a cenar. So in English, it's going to. Okay. To go through is a phrasal verb. So here, I'm going to move this over here so it's better, more normal. So this is an example of a phrasal verb, to go through. The preposition is a través, and it's related to work. If you have documents and a lot of work, it's necessary to go through, and the significance is to complete. So I'm going to need you to complete or to do these VRT numbers. So remember, this is singular, that is singular, these is plural here. So that's a good example. There's an error in here somewhere. So basically in some location, in some place, algo lugar, there is an error somewhere. So for my holidays, I want to go somewhere nice. It's not important the location, but it has to be warm and nice somewhere, okay? Here's the question. Can you not do it online? It is the activity, and the affirmative is you can, ability, affirmative, you can. For the question, we change the position, can you, and it's the negative, okay? And normally at the end, that's very typical in every language, is no. For a question also, it's possible to create and construct the question at the end with a no or yeah, so that's very normal, okay? No, again, you're going to, future, so that's the second construction of the future. You're going to, have to is an obligation, so you're going to have to, that's a difficult structure, but it's an obligation. Have to and must are the same. Do it, it is the activity, and in is the location, the preposition, the garage, in the garage, okay? With the hard copies. So basically that's a general description. We have the copies, the replica, but the hard copy is the original. So normally when people say the hard copy, it's the original. So you want to copy your passport, but do you have the hard copy? It's the original document, okay? All right, so no problem, that's just a question. I'll try to get to it. That's difficult as well. So to get to something is the significance to do something. So I will try is the future simple. I will try to get to it is to do it. Okay, remember get is like arrive or to move. So you arrive to the activity or you move to the job. I will try to get to it next week. So this is the activity, this is the problem, and you try to arrive or to do the activity or the job. Okay, very typical in conversation and very difficult maybe to understand. So I have a lot of work to do at home, a lot of work. So I will try to get to it tomorrow. So I will try to do or complete the work tomorrow, or to get through. So a few possibilities for the same significance. And this is a very good example of the simple expressions, the simple vocabulary, but also difficult to understand. Okay? This week, no, it needs to be done. So this is an example of the passive. You remember the structure of the passive. The active, I do the job, but the passive, the job needs to be done. Okay, with the extra verb to be and the participle done, that's just a little example of the passive. Okay, otherwise is a linker, and basically the significance of the linker is if not. So I go to the center today, otherwise I can speak to my friend. For example, I hope the weather today is very good. I hope the weather today is very good. If not is the same. Otherwise, I will stay at home. Okay, so this is a very important significance. It's like if not, otherwise, there will be a fine. So normally the adjective fine is good and happy. So how are you? I am fine, I am good. But in this significance, in this case, it's una multa in Espanol, a penalty. Okay, so you have the car and you park the car in the incorrect position. You receive a penalty, you receive a fine. Okay, so that's very good vocabulary. And here it's the substantive because we have the article. So a fine, also it is possible a verb to fine. So the security man fined me. That's the past simple, the verb to fine. Okay, very good vocabulary. Cause, so in informal situations it's possible to say cause, very, very informal, and really it means because. Okay, so the significance here is because, and it has the same significance, but it's very, very informal. This next expression is very, very famous, and it's a phrasal verb, but it's extremely common. So run is corre in Espanol, and the expression run off your feet. So at the moment I am on my feet because I am standing, I am on my feet. But if you are very busy and you have a lot of work, you are run off your feet. So you're very tired and it's not possible to work. Very famous expression, to be run off your feet. And remember, 1 foot is singular and 2 feet. So the significance means that you are extremely busy, extremely occupied, and you cannot do more work because you are run off your feet. Hasta mi ojos in Espanol. Very up to my, if possible in English, up to my neck, up to my eyes, has the same significance as run off your feet. Okay, and I will write that here. Up to my eyes in work. Up to my neck, that's a possibility. Okay, and it's the same example. Up to my neck in work. Okay, and again, all right is just a possible question or a little emphasis. Okay, what's that supposed to mean? Well, half the time I call, so this is an expression as well, half the time, and it's very conversational. So not all the time I call. And here's the example. Junior is with my ma, so this is very Irish, extremely Irish. Ma is the significance of mother or mum. Okay, ma, so it's very, very Irish. So half the time I call, Junior is with me ma. So basically not all the time, but half the time. So it's a lot. Okay, so he's angry, and he's expressing his anger. Okay, and here's another expression. He says, Ray, this is the subject, Ray says, verb in the present. Remember, first person, I say, you say, third person, normally with the S. He says or she says. Okay, and here again we have another subject. He is. So is holding is the present continuous. Remember the construction, the present continuous, the verb to be, and the gerund, the ing. He is holding down. And this is the phrasal verb, holding down everything. Yesterday we had the example to hold the fort. And to hold the fort is like to defend or to make sure everything is safe. So in the house, you leave the house and you say to your friend, you hold the fort. So you protect everything, you manage everything, okay? And to hold down is a phrasal verb, the significance with a job. To hold down a job is to keep, maintain. So it's possession. So imagine you hold down your job. The significance is you maintain and you keep your job for a long time. And in this context, it's like control. So Ray says he is holding down everything at the garage. So he is controlling, he is managing, and he is really dealing with, managing, coping with the situation. Okay, very good example of normal informal conversation. Right is like in Espanol, entonces, okay. Ray is if, so here's the conditional. If Ray is so amazing, normally with so, it's with the adjective to intensify. So the adjective is amazing, and so is to intensify the adjective. Happy, so happy. Tired, so tired. Amazing, so amazing. Okay, and usually there is a consequence after so. I am so happy, I can run around the garden. I am so hungry, I could eat a lot of food. So usually there is a consequence with so. And here's the consequence. So if Ray is really amazing, the consequence, why don't you ask him to do your donkey work? Okay, donkey work is another expression and very important. The difficult, the physical, the hard and the difficult work is usually called in English the donkey work. Okay, so imagine you start in the company, the first day you must do the difficult jobs, the physical jobs, the really terrible jobs. This is the donkey work. Okay, because I think the donkey, the animal, usually carries the difficult objects, and the donkey has the most difficult job. Okay, so the donkey work is the physical, ugly, very hard work. Okay, very, very common in English for you. So this is obviously informal and very typical in conversation. Basically the pronunciation is for you, and really it means for you. Okay, so it's very hard to identify this, but it's very informal, and the significance really is you. Okay, we know Ray. Okay, here's another very good expression. So the person Ray, that's the man, Ray does not, negative, have, I do not have. So the negative is do, and I do, you do, he does. The third person is does, and the negative is does not have a head for. This is a very famous expression. So I have a head for mathematics, I have a head for geography. That means I have a good ability. I have a good mental ability for geography, I have a good mental ability for mathematics, but Ray does not have a good mental ability for this kind of stuff. So stuff is another flexible word, and the significance is things. So I have a lot of stuff in my room. I have a lot of things in my room. I have a lot of stuff in my bag. I have a lot of things, objects in my bag, okay? And there is a possibility as well, the verb to stuff, and it means to put a lot in. For example, my bag, the verb, I stuff my bag. The significance is I put a lot of objects, a lot of things in my bag. It's the same when I eat. If I am very hungry, and typical for the child stuffs the face. So they eat, and they have the face full, so they stuff the face. The adjective after food, after your dinner, I am stuffed. The significance means I am full. I am really content. I am stuffed. Okay, so it is flexible, but in this case, it's like activity or things. So Ray does not have a head for this kind, this type, this sort. Okay, so it's possible type, sort of, kind. There are three possibilities for the same thing. Okay, and I think that's the sentence. Will you not just do, yes, okay. So because you are not asking, so there's a difference between the verb to ask and to order. So to ask is very polite and very generous. I ask you. But to order is mandar, I think in Espanol, very direct. So it's not good, and it's possible to order somebody is to instruct, but in a maybe rude, maleducado, impolite or rude way. Yes, it's possible in the restaurant you order. It is very direct, but it's perfect in the restaurant and the bar, no problem. But in other situations, it's maybe negative. So if you order your friend, it's very direct and maybe a little rude. Rude is maleducado. Okay? As if this next sentence is extremely informal and extremely normal in conversation, and it's a bit difficult to understand. So as if, it's like imagine. As if. Imagine situation. As if I am Irish. As if I am English. As if I am French. And in this case, as if I am doing sweet FA. Okay, this is a very, very famous expression. So F represents the bad word in English. You know, the bad F word, like the rude F word, F, and then there's 4 letters. I don't want to say it because it's probably impolite and rude, but here the second significance is all, and sweet is dulce in Espanol. So I am doing sweet FA means I am doing absolutely nothing. Okay? For example, very rude, very vulgar. For example, I have sweet FA. That means I have absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? I am doing sweet FA means I'm doing absolutely nothing. But it's a little rude because the word really is the bad F word in English. Okay? But it is very typical in conversation with friends. Extremely typical and extremely normal to understand. Okay. And then he continues, listen, is this another? So you remember the difference in the introduction between another and other. So another is singular, another day, another week, and other is for plural. In this case, hangover is very important vocabulary. So the verb to hang is colgar in Espanol. For example, my jacket, I hang my jacket. My hat, I hang my jacket. Hangover is related to alcohol and the party. So you have a party on Friday night and maybe you drink some alcohol or you're very late. So that's Friday night. And Saturday you are very tired and you are very sick. So the substantive is a hangover. I have a hangover because it connects, it hangs over from the next day. That's very famous vocabulary, particularly in relation to a party. And the question in this context, the man asks the woman, do you have another hangover? Is this the reason for your attitude? Is this the reason for your mood? Okay, and your mood is your feeling or your atmosphere, yourself. It's your feeling, your mood. Okay, normally in English it's in. I am in a good mood and in a bad mood. That's the typical structure. Okay, and we normally say to be. I like the number 9 today. I don't know why. To be in a good mood or to be in a bad mood. That's the typical structure with in. It's necessary in. Okay, and it's a question, is this? So the affirmative, this is, but the question, is this? Okay, another hangover or something. What? This mood. Okay, and then he continues, were you out? So again, the affirmative, I was, you were, that's the affirmative, you were out. But the question, were you out, is like the party. So to go out is como salir, but it's related to the party or in the pub or in the bar or at the disco, to be out. So the man is asking the lady, did you go to the disco last night? Is this the reason for your attitude today? And she says, very sarcastic, so with bed, and the son is hijo in Espanol, so the verb to put is poner, and the typical structure for bed is to put the child to bed. That's the typical structure. For example, the au pair, the mother, the typical structure for English is to put, poner, to put the child to bed. Okay, very typical connection. I lock him in his room. So very sarcastic and very dramatic. To lock the door is this action. The substantive is a lock, but the verb to lock. And the phrasal verb within is obviously inside. So lock him in is to put him in the room and not possible to leave. Okay, so I lock him in his room. So again, she's very sarcastic. It's dramatic. I lock him in his room and then I go out on the lash. Okay, again, very, very conversational expression. Very typical in Ireland situations, in family situations, in friend situations. I don't know if this is understandable in other countries, but in Ireland this expression is very typical. The verb to lash is latir in Hispano, como latido. So the expression in English, on the lash, means you party very, very hard. Okay, you go, you drink a lot, you party a lot, you are on the lash. It's very, very informal and it's very very normal in conversation, but really it means you party hard. Okay, so to be on the lash is to party hard. Party hard. With number 9, again, my favourite number. Okay, a very good example, to party hard. And then she continues, sure, it's like again, entonces, or well, I am practically, preposition on holiday. Usually we say I am on holiday, over here. A key. So practically I am on holiday over here. And then this is a question, amn't I? So in English it's possible at the end of the question, this is called tag question. So for example, it is a beautiful day, isn't it? I am very happy, amn't I? Okay, you are very tired, aren't you? So it's possible the inversion at the end of the sentence for a question. That's very, very normal in conversation in Ireland. And this is just one example as well. So I am is the affirmative, and the question is, am not I? But we say, amn't I? And that's very, very typical in conversation. Okay, come, and then the other man says, come on buddy, let's get a move on. Okay, so to get a move on is to go quickly. In English, como prisa in Espanol. And basically the significance is to hurry up. Maybe you are familiar with the expression to hurry up, and it means to go quick or to move fast. Okay, so to get a move on is to hurry up, to go quicker. Okay, let's get a move on. So continue, go fast, go quick. And then the man says, why don't I, so this is a question, you change the position, why don't I take Junior to the pet farm? The pet is like the dog or the animal or the horse, and the farm is granja in Espanol, on my own. So only me, on my own. We've two possibilities, on my own or by myself. Exactly the same significance, but they're two different structures, on my own or by myself. Okay, and it really means just you and nobody else. Okay, so why don't I take Junior to the farm on my own or by myself? Okay, because I said I'd go, and this is the conditional, I would go. I said I would go with yous. And again, this is very, very informal, very Irish, and the significance is you in the plural. So I will go with yous, and that means I will go with you, plural. And it's extremely typical in conversation and very hard to really identify correctly. Okay, tell him it's a lad's day out. So this is another typical expression. So lad is normally a man or the maybe boy or teenager, but lad is usually masculine, and plural lads is plural, and here we have the possession, and the rule with the possession is normally apostrophe s, but when the word ends in s, the exception, it's not necessary another apostrophe s. So this is plural lads. A day out is the substantive, and usually a day out is the zoo, a picnic, the restaurant. We go for a day out. It's possible a night out. A night out is to the restaurant, to the bar, to a hotel. This is a night out, but a day out is maybe to the Phoenix Park, like an excursion. Okay, and here a lad's day out is usually all the boys together, maybe golf, maybe to watch the football, maybe to drink a lot of beer. They're the stereotypes, and that's the typical context. Okay, so that is important, the lad's day out. Okay, and then she says, I'm going to, that's the future continuous, I'm going to be able. So able is the adjective, and it's usually important and essential with to be. I am able, you are able, he is able, she is able. It's also possible the substantive ability, and another adjective capable. Okay, so very important family. To get to, remember the beginning, to get to, como to do, como hacer. So I have a lot of work to get to. Okay, and this VRT crap. Crap in Espanol is like basura, rubbish. It's not good, so the quality is very bad. This coffee is crap. It's a little informal and a little rude, maybe, little impolite, but it means bad quality. This football match is crap. This coffee is crap, really, really bad. There is another word in English with S that's bad, but crap is a bit more acceptable. Okay, that Wayne has just landed on me. So the verb is to land. Typical with the aeroplane lands, and this case the man has put, poner, has put a lot of work on the lady. So he has landed the work on her, de repente, suddenly. Okay, very, very good English for creativity. Okay, so this is a very, very perfect example of typical conversation with family, with friends, particularly in Ireland, but probably acceptable everywhere, and very informal but very real and authentic English, okay, for conversation. So now I will play the video again, and you can try and listen to everything again, and I hope I disappear. I hope that you can hear the audio. If you cannot hear the audio, you can check later for the link on YouTube and try yourself. But let's go. We play again one more time, okay? Okay, well done. And again, I really hope you could hear this perfect, because it's very important, and I hope in the class with the technology it was possible for you to understand the audio, and I hope the text helped to understand the second time, and I think yes. So the explanation is important, and the second time to listen is very important. Okay, So I'm very, very happy with this technique, with this method, with this idea. I think it's very important, and we can continue every day a little, but it's really, really authentic and real conversation, particularly in Ireland, okay? So I know there's a lot of people from Brazil in Ireland, a lot of people from Poland, from Spain in Ireland, and I hope this can help. So that's a good example for today. So also we can continue a little with this list. I know it's very late, but we can do a little with this list, maybe one or two. So here we have the list of phrase verbs, or maybe we will leave this until tomorrow, okay? So probably we can leave everything to tomorrow because it's very late and that's a lot of good work, okay? So I recommend that you review the vocabulary from the class today. Very interesting, and I will put the vocabulary in the video. I will put in the comment section of the video, I will put the vocabulary. I will put the link for the series or the telenovela. I will put all the material in the comment section for the video, and we can continue every day a little by little, some different material, and I hope that this can help you. I hope it's very good. Again, I'm very happy to teach in this moment. It's a good opportunity. Everything is free, but if you want to help, or if you want to contribute, or a little donation of maybe €1, for me that would be a great help and a big support, very big. There's two possibilities: with Bizum in Spain, that's the telephone number, or with PayPal, if you want with your telephone, the camera, to take a picture of that code. It directs you to a link, or there's a website as well if you want to support me for €1 or €2. It would be a great help. It's optional, it's not necessary, but thank you very much. I hope that you have a great day. I know it's difficult time, difficult circumstances, but I hope that you have a good day. And in Dublin it's very cold, but fingers crossed everything is okay. So I'll talk to you tomorrow, and if you have any questions, you can put the questions in the comment, or you can ask me the question and I can talk to you soon. So thank you so much and have a great day.